Hey Lego fans, welcome to Lego for Life Studio. My name is Chris, and for today's Let's Build, we're gonna build some large scale figures. I've been watching a popular Lego show called Lego Masters, and one thing I've noticed with that series is that a lot of the build contains unique characters that are larger than minifigure scale. So for today's Let's Build, we're gonna try to make a Lego figure on a big scale. We're gonna do a bit of scenery to put it in and try to mimic the TV show from Lego Masters. The only thing we don't have is the time restriction. So here in front of me I have some of the exact pieces that we are gonna use for building the figure. The reason why I've opted to use these kind of hinges is I want to be able to put the figure in different poses. So to do that, I have to use the hinges for all the arms and the legs and the hips. That way I can mimic the human body and position the figure exactly as I want to. There are three main pieces that we're gonna use. The first one is for the hip. I've just taken it, putting them together here, so you can see this mimics where we're gonna build the actual foot. And up here you can see this piece to mimic the rotation of the legs. And of course here we have the bending of the knees. So these ball joints are very versatile Lego bricks. They can be used for almost all kind of builds when you have to build something off angle or you want to mimic building something organic. They are good because they have some kind of resistance, so they can actually stay in place. So let's head over to the building table and do a small scenery build on a 42 by 42 base plate where we can put our Lego figure, and I will see you back here after that.
If the energy's right, 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 if the energy's right, energy, energy, if the energy's right, 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 energy, energy's right, if the energy's right, if the energy's right. Energy.
So we're done building the scenery, and I just took off their big Lego figure so I can present it to you before I present the whole build. As you can see during the time lapse of the building the scenery, I changed it a couple of times, and it was mainly the legs I changed a couple of times and the height of the upper body, because the proportions were not quite right. As you can see, there are all the features that we talked about when I presented the bricks, the joints I was using for this build. One thing that is I'll say key when you're building this is that when building these kind of figures, of course, I'll go for hiding a lot of the technical structure behind the actual build, and also you make sure that your arms and legs can actually move in the direction that an arm or a leg actually would move. So if you see here for the knee, it cannot bend backwards, but it cannot bend forwards, because that is not what the knees are designed to. For the arms on the figure, because of the proportions, I've decided to take out one joint, so you actually only have the shoulder and the one complete arm, and then the hand. So we are missing one joint, but I think it's cool anyway. And the reason why I did that is because otherwise the arm will get too long when I'm using the big ball joints. I will have to go for another design if I should make I'll have to go for another design if I should make another ball joint in the middle of this. Otherwise the figure is quite basic. Of course, the figure is a quite basic figure. I've put in some curved brick on the bottom to represent the foot. I've opted for some quite big foots on this figure, because it's easier to place in a pose when you have some more support on the bottom. So just like that, you can have it standing. If we take a look at the actual build, you can see here that to cover up the ball joints, I've used brackets around the legs to attach bricks on all sides of the build. And for support of the body, it's brackets as well, because then you can put the plates along multiple brackets, and that will tie the body of the figure to one piece. That way it doesn't break when you're placing the minifigure, or when using the brackets, you get when you're using the plates and the brackets method, you can really tie the bricks together quite well, and it becomes quite a stiff structure, so it doesn't break when you're placing in your build or moving the arms and legs around. that's it for the main figure of this build, and I'll bring over the scenery and I'll present the final build. So we're back here at the studio again, and I just brought the finished build from our building table, and I think it turned out pretty good. I'm very happy with it. The scenery is a bit rough, but I don't mind for this build because the scenery is not the main focus here. The main focus is of course building the characters, and I kinda like building at this scale. It poses a lot of new challenges and a lot of new building techniques to make it look good. Especially the characters' face. I think it's pretty hard to make some facial expression, but it is doable with a lot of practice. And of course, for this build, I went for some. For this build, I went for this actual build. I've built in different scales. So I'll say some of the scenery here is in minifigure scale. And if you see these mushrooms, they are quite big. And the character, even the character is big compared to the mushrooms. But I think it brings some cool fantasy into the Lego build and playing with it and having fun with your build. Lego is not supposed to mimic real life, so I think it's cool to build something you don't actually see in real life. Well, I'll just take out the minifigure and let's take a closer look at that one. For this build as well, I went for black plates underneath the water because I wanted a bit darker look than using the blue bricks on the bottom. So the trans blue tile looks pretty cool, and it's also a very cool building technique with building water when you change the color of the plate underneath the transparent tiles. Actually, over here at the waterfall, instead of the black tiles, I went for dark blue tiles underneath here, just to mimic that there is some more movement in the water just below the waterfall. So hope you like this small build and you find my content interesting. Please leave a like or a comment in the comment section, and I will see you in the next Let's Build.